Now, the thing to keep in mind is, a lot of people think, oh, you're in an airport, you can't have a lot of fun. Well, McCarran Airport has a lot of really unique things. I think you're going to get a really neat kick out of. And the best thing is, most of these are free and they don't cost anything to do to enjoy. Now, there's a few things that you have to pay for, like the shopping and things like that. But one of the first things I'm going to tell you about is inside the McCarran Airport, on Terminal 1 on Level 2, there's a museum called the Howard W. Cannon Aviation Museum. It's basically what this museum does is it focuses on the first flight in 1920 out of Southern Nevada to the World Endurance Flight. And this is one of the things, if you go online and type in Howard W. Cannon Aviation Museum, you can learn more about this aviation museum for yourself, basically just by going to the website. Now, one of the things I can tell you that I really enjoy about this is it's totally free. When you're in an airport, one of the things, basically before you get to your shuttles or or however you're going to get in Las Vegas, I always like to stop by this aviation museum because I got to tell you, it's pretty darn amazing what they have here. When you go in the museum, they have all sorts of things. They actually have a car there, a Ford Thunderbird that's been totally restored from the originally served the airport area there. That's one of the things they have. They also have a plane hanging from the ceiling that's been totally restored. As you go throughout all the exhibits and everything, they have uniforms, patches, pins, instrument panels, gauges. They have a propeller there, all sorts of photos and things, lapel pins. Various things, basically telling you a little bit about Las Vegas's McCarran International Airport from the very beginning to where the airport's at today. It's a pretty fascinating thing to go on. I usually spend anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes every time I go to Las Vegas looking through this amazing museum. The best part about the museum is it's free. So if you get a chance when you're at the airport, one of the things I suggest you do first is definitely check out the Howard W. Cannon Aviation Museum on Terminal 1 on Level 2 at the McCarran International Airport. I think you're going to find it's pretty awesome there. You're going to also learn a lot about aviation, things you probably never even knew, and that's one of the things I really like about it. I get to learn things I never knew before, and it doesn't really cost me anything, and it's convenient too. Okay. Number two fun thing to do at McCarran Airport is the dining options. You're going to discover that at McCarran Airport, your dining options are so many. You're going to have a hard time finding something that you won't find at McCarran Airport. Now, some of the examples of the things that they have at McCarran Airport, they have Annie Ann's Pretzels, they have Burger King, they have the California Pizza Kitchen, Carl's Jr., Cinnabon, Miss Field's Cookies, Nathan's Hot Dogs, and also Quiznos Subs, just to name a few. Now, the one thing you're going to notice when you're at McCarran Airport is the number of places you can eat at will vary somewhat depending on what gate you're coming into. When you go to McCarran Airport, your dining options are going to vary depending on which gate you're coming in. All the gates have good dining options, but the places that you can eat at, the different outlets and things might vary somewhat depending on the terminal that you're in. For example, one of the terminals I was in had FLM chocolates. The other terminal I came in at the next year did not. So the thing to keep in mind is just basically you're going to find pretty good dining options in any of the terminals that you're in at McCarran Airport. Definitely feel free to check those out while you're there because you're going to find some pretty unique places at McCarran Airport. The best part about it is I think it's really nice to go ahead and get a bite to eat before I go out on the strip and things like that and tour, just to kind of refuel myself. And that's one of the things you're going to find that's really cool at McCarran Airport. All the different dining choices and things that you have when you're in the airport. Now, the other thing, the number 3 thing I'm going to tell you about that's really great and fun about McCarran Airport is the shopping. You're going to find that McCarran Airport has plenty of shopping options that some places you've never even seen. For example, they have an Ethel chocolate factory, Ethel chocolate outlet store there. Now, I don't know if they have these in all the terminals or not, but I can tell you, if you're in a terminal that does have these, the Ethel chocolates, my advice is definitely go in there and get yourself some chocolates. The chocolates are absolutely wonderful. I suggest you get what they're called white chocolate dollars. They're very, very good. I like to get a bag of those, and basically when I go to my hotel room, once I get in my cab and go to the hotel room, then I like to go ahead and put those in my room and give myself a little treat every morning when I get up. You're also going to find things like if you need things like headphones for your, like headphones while you're in Vegas, or let's say you forgot a flash drive or something like, you forgot your memory stick for your camera or something, or you need to get some headphones maybe for the flight back. They have Best Buy Express kiosks throughout the airport. Those are really, really cool. Basically, it's like having a small Best Buy store on the go where you have all the basic brands and everything that Best Buy has. And you're going to find that they're pretty easy to use as well. Another thing really nice about McCarran Airport is they have Brookstones. That's another store that they have. I've always thought Brookstones has a lot of really cool things. Like if you need, for example, if you're on the plane and you need to have a flight pillow or something like that, Brookstones has all sorts of things like that that cater basically to your traveling needs. So Brookstones is another one of the places I suggest you visit while you're there. Another place I have that I really like is called the Sugar Factory. And now the Sugar Factory has wonderful candies and things such as gummy bears and candy, gummy bears. They have jelly beans, all sorts of different things, gumballs, Tartan Tinies, all sorts of different things. Sweet tarts they have there, all sorts of different things. You have gummy, all sorts of gummy bears. You name the gummy bear, they probably have it. Gummy worms and various things. And the one thing I like about the Sugar Factory is I found that the quality of the candies has been very good. I've never had a bad bag of candies there yet, and I've eaten there at least. I've gotten my candies there at least 4 or 5 times, and it's always a lot of fun to have a little candy when you're on the trip. Anyway, remember you're on vacation. You want to get away from the everyday. Have a little fun while you're at it. Have a few sweets while you're at it. You'll probably be glad you did. I always enjoy having some sweets when I'm in the airport. It's one of the things I like about getting away from the everyday. And also, the last thing I was going to mention to you is when you're in the airport, if you forgot a souvenir, not to worry. You can go to the Welcome to Las Vegas gift shop inside the McCarran International Airport. This is a shop that has basically souvenirs. They have signs, banners, glasses, cups, all sorts of things catering to Las Vegas. So if for some reason when you're leaving Las Vegas and you forgot a souvenir, you can go in this Las Vegas souvenir gift shop, and they have all sorts of things to remind you about your Las Vegas trip. Now, one of the things that's nice about going to another thing too that's nice about going to the Las Vegas gift shop is, if you want to buy a souvenir, you don't have to carry that around in your luggage the entire time you're walking around Las Vegas. They only have to carry it from the time you get on the plane to when you get home. You don't have to carry it around the entire time you're in Las Vegas. So if you just want a basic souvenir, I suggest you stop by the Welcome to Las Vegas gift shop. Now, the number 4 thing that I'm going to suggest is when you're at McCarran International Airport, one of the things I really like is they offer free Wi-Fi. Now, one of the things I was going to mention to you is that if you go to the McCarran International Airport website, they're going to tell you some other things, facilities and various things that they have to offer there. But one of the things that they have on there is, and I used this last year, is free Wi-Fi. Now, one of the great things about having free Wi-Fi is the airport that I usually leave out, the BWI airport, the last time I left out of there, they didn't offer free Wi-Fi. They have free Wi-Fi. They have Wi-Fi, but you have to pay an access fee to use it. When I went to McCarran International Airport, I didn't have any access fee at all to access the internet. I could access the free Wi-Fi. I could access it anytime I was in the airport, and that was a really nice thing because I was able to check on my hotel rooms. I was even able to book some shows and things using the various apps that they have through the Las Vegas websites and things that they have out there. You can download Vegas maps that show you where all the tourist things and everything are. In addition, you can also get sightseeing information on Hoover Dam and various things. The days of running around and picking up little pamphlets and things like that, I'm afraid to say those are gradually coming to an end. You can still find leaflets and things like that, but now that the Wi-Fi's come along, you can pretty much find out anything you need to do. And what I also suggest you do is when you're in the airport and you have the free Wi-Fi, don't be afraid to download some apps that might help you while you're in Vegas. For example, you can download apps like Showtimes. One of the things like halfpricetickets.com. You can download things like various things like show reservation times, dinner reservations, all sorts of different things that'll help you make reservations while you're on the go in Las Vegas and make your trip a little more enjoyable as well. Now, the 5th thing that I was going to mention that I really enjoy, my number 5 is slots, and more slots. If you like slot machines, McCarran Airport has got plenty and plenty of slots to appeal to you. Now, there's slots all over the airport at McCarran. It's one of the things that you're going to find it's a lot of fun. If you go to my videos, watch my Reach the Airport slots video at McCarran Airport. I'll show you how quick you can get from your airplane to a slot machine in Las Vegas. I did it in less than 2 minutes. Now, what you're going to find out is different areas of the airport are going to have different slot machines and things like that. They don't have duplicates, from what I could tell. Most of the times, they have different types of slot machines in different areas. For example, some are going to be Wheel of Fortune machines. Other ones are going to be video slots. They have real slots. And you're going to find that as you travel through the airport, you're going to see all sorts of different types of slot machines. So if you don't see what you like in one section, definitely go to another section to see if there's one that you like. Now, the one thing they're going to tell you about the airport slots at Las Vegas, they're going to say, the airport slots are really, really tight. You never win anything. Well, I have a little surprise to tell you. I found that to be the opposite to be true. Every time I play slots in Las Vegas, one of the things I do when I get to the airport is say, you know what, I got $20, I'm going to win my cab fare into Vegas. The average cab fare that I spend, and now I understand you can take a free shuttle to your hotels and things. I like to do a cab because I always enjoy taking a cab. I always like to think it's like I'm in a limo and I take a cab and I have a good time. Well, the cab fare usually I usually stay at Flamingo to go from the McCarran International Airport to Flamingo. Costs about anywhere from $14 to $20, depending on the cab driver they have, traffic and various things, and also the route that they take. Well, one of the great things is when you're in the airport is I usually like to take when I get off the plane, I usually like to use a restroom. Then I take $20 out of my pocket and I put it in usually one of the Wheel of Fortune machines the first Wheel of Fortune machine I can find, and see if I win anything. Now, the last 4 trips I've taken, I've won enough. I've won about $40 on every trip, which is enough to cover my cab for going into Las Vegas. And in addition to that, I used a little bit of that money to go to some of those places to buy some candy and things that I needed also. And I also was able to go to the Best Buy thing to buy I had to get a. Actually, I went to Brookstones. I had to get a little memory stick for my camera. I was able to buy that. In addition, I was also able to buy some AAA batteries for my camera I needed as well. All that based on just playing one slot machine when I got to Las Vegas. And you know what? It's always great when somebody else pays for it. So why not give it a try? Take $20, try the slot machines out at the airport, see if you have any luck. And if you don't, you know what? You're going to have a good time anyway. And my advice is when you go back to the airport, that's another thing. When you go back to the airport, the great thing about getting to Las Vegas early is you always have the slot machines to play when you're waiting for your flight. You're going to find that most of the terminals, pretty much everywhere in the airport, they have slot machines. So if you're in the Southwest terminal, they got slot machines. If you're United, they got slot machines. Everywhere in the airport, you're going to find slot machines. And that's one of the things that makes staying at McCarran Airport a lot of fun, is getting a chance to play all the different slots. Now, one of the things I'll mention is probably one of my favorite things to do. Now, this is going to depend what time you get to the airport, but Las Vegas Airport has got probably the nicest facade of glass I've ever seen at any of the airports. I mean, they have got a wall of glass in that airport that's almost 3 stories high. It's completely glassed from the floor all the way up to the ceiling, and you can actually see the runways there. And if you want to get some fantastic shots of planes taking off and landing, if it's during the daytime and you can see, definitely stop by there and check out the planes taking off and landing where that glass. I call it the Glass Cathedral. You'll know where it is when you're in the airport because you can't miss it. It's a humongous glass area there that they have, and you can look out on the runways and see the planes taking off and landing. In addition to that, you also get a really, really beautiful view of the valley and things too that you're into while you're at the airport. So this is one of the things I just wanted to suggest to you. It's ways to have fun when you're in Las Vegas at the McCarran International Airport. I want to thank you again, by the way, for visiting my channel and all your support and everything as well. If you have any suggestions or comments or anything you want to suggest about doing at McCarran Airport when you arrive, feel free to leave it in the comments section below. I always love to hear what y'all have to say. Thanks again for visiting the Kurt's Place channel here on the YouTube. Take care now.